Hey, so what's happening guys, Chris here, taking a look at the Vortex rifle in Doom's multiplayer today. It's basically Doom's answer to a sniper rifle, and it functions very similar to one, in the fact that it can deal a high amount of damage over long ranges, and it shoots in a semi-auto fashion. The Vortex rifle fires an intense, concentrated burst of energy, and the damage created by the beam varies depending on how charged up the shot is whilst aiming down the sights. The rifle doesn't actually hold all that much ammo, as the maximum amount of shots you'll be able to fire at any given time is 20. Plus you'll only spawn into the match with just 12 shots, but because of the slower firing nature of the rifle, this shouldn't be too much of a problem, so long as you're not firing all over the place. Now the damage dealt by the Vortex rifle shot depends on a few different things. The rifle functions slightly differently to traditional sniper rifles, and acts a bit more like a railgun, in the sense that it needs to charge up to gain its power. The only way to charge the gun up is by aiming down the sights, and this will charge up your next shot automatically. Similar to the static rifle, the Vortex charge level is shown by a circular indicator around the reticle, and the further clockwise the indicator moves, the more power you'll gain. It only takes about 2 seconds to fully charge up your next blast, though because Doom's multiplayer can be quite fast paced, even 2 seconds can sometimes seem like a long time. The Vortex rifle has a risk-reward type structure to it, as if you wait to charge that shot up to its max and miss, you might get spotted and blown to pieces by your target. But if you can land your charged up beam onto someone, it can sometimes be enough to kill them in one shot. One thing to keep in mind when charging up the shot though, is that you'll emit a solid red laser beam out towards wherever you're aiming at, and this is a good indicator for enemies that you're charging your shot, pretty much painting you as a target, and giving everyone the heads up on your position whilst you do so. Just be aware of this and try to restrict aiming down sights unless you want to kill someone. Damage wise, that fully charged blast tends to deal 84 damage on the body, which is enough to kill another player with lower amounts of health and armour nice and easy. Though if you can manage to land that shot on their head, you'll deal a much higher damage of 126, and in a lot of cases this will put the other player down on the ground, as they're going to need a full bar of health and a fair amount of armour to survive a blast to the noggin from the Vortex rifle at maximum charge. So from this, we can see that the Vortex rifle is definitely not something to be laughed at, as there isn't many things in Doom that can reach damage levels quite so high. Though a lot of your shots that you fire might not be able to wait for that 2-second charge up, especially if the enemy is advancing on your position and rapidly tearing chunks out of your health bar. So in these cases, firing the shot off before it reaches maximum charge will often be the more reliable option, especially as the rifle can still deal fairly high amounts of damage at lower charges. Of course you won't gain as much power by only staying scoped in for a shorter amount of time, and firing your shots off in the quicker successions isn't going to allow for that charge to reach those higher levels either. But if your target has already been weakened by a stronger shot or another player, then finishing them off with a quick shot is going to be the best thing to do to put them down fast. Because of the high levels of damage you can reach with the rifle, it's also a great weapon to cause tons of damage on enemy demon players from a distance, as you can inflict huge amounts of damage from these charged up shots, taking them out from afar. Much easier and safer than if you were using another weapon. Now the Vortex rifle doesn't have a secondary way of causing damage, as the weapon mod that's equipped on the gun is a scope that increases magnification, and allows for your shot to be charged. This is obviously helpful for engaging enemies at longer ranges, as it'll give you a clearer, zoomed in view through the optics, and allow you to get that shot to land easier from a distance. The Vortex rifle however can be fired from the hip to deal a slightly lower amount of damage, but it bypasses the whole charge process and just fires off your shot as if no charge has been added onto the weapon. The rifle deals 30 damage to the body and 45 to the head when hip fired, so it's still a relatively decent amount of damage that can wipe out lower amounts of health quickly, and is also a quicker way to deliver a shot and finish someone off, giving you full mobility as you do so. Aiming down the sight slows your movement speed down a bit, but hip firing allows you to stay on your toes and strafe around on your target a tad easier, though you're probably not going to be as accurate over long distances, plus you aren't going to deal those crazy high levels of damage either. But at closer to medium ranges, hip firing can often be a good alternative. So because the Vortex rifle has no other means of delivering damage, other than those slow firing beams designed for long range firefights, this means that you're going to be a very vulnerable target up close, as the charge up nature of the Vortex rifle pretty much eliminates any kind of effective way to quickscope or take away punishing amounts of health quickly in CQC. The Vortex is meant to be used as a sniper rifle, and so a good close quarter friendly weapon would make a great choice when picking your secondary gun. Both the super and combat shotguns are perfect matches with the Vortex rifle, allowing you to fill the gap and cater for all ranges whatever the situation. A good tactic is to hit a target with a high powered Vortex blast first, and then as you get closer, switch over to the shotty and blast them away. Though if shotguns really aren't your thing, another tactic could be to finish off the players from afar that have been injured by your sniper by using something like the heavy assault rifle. This will allow you to rapidly take away their remaining health without having to worry about landing another sluggish sniper shot to down them. Anyway, the Vortex rifle is a great long distance weapon that can kill very easily, providing your aim is on point. It's got a fairly low fire rate, so missing too many shots could leave you vulnerable. And using the gun in CQC isn't going to be a brilliant idea, but combined with other weapons like the shotgun, you can cover all grounds and deal with anyone at any range. It's one of the most devastating weapons out of the lot, and if you like snipers and killing from a distance, the Vortex rifle should have you covered. That's all I've got for you this time, guys, but make sure you subscribe to see loads of other stuff on my channel, and give me a like if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in that next one.